Alright, so I think this is a pretty good angle, but I got something in today. I got a little bit of stuff to do in the car. Like, my motor's not even bolted in. I was doing motor donuts last night. Those bolts aren't even tightened down, but I got a bunch of little stuff to do. Button up my interior, re-weld my hydraulic e-brake lever thing so it fits. Reassemble the interior and clean it up in there because it's just dirty from sitting and working in it for so long. But I got a package in today that I was waiting for the other day, and I'm really excited for this. Here we go. I haven't even seen this yet. I'm really excited. Oh, that is so dope. This is so freaking sick right now. Oh my god. Alright. Here is my massive fucking hood scoop. This is who makes it, LRT Speed. They engraved it for me, 350 SX on both sides. Super fucking sick. Tinted bottom, which I guess just kind of helps with the engraving coming through. But this is what's going to go on the car. It's going to stick through the hood. There's going to be a K&N filter in here. They make filters that'll fit. So a 9-inch filter, and that's actually what's going to hold this down as well. So I'm so excited for this. I'm going to get this installed and I'm going to show you guys. Alright, so I ran into some issues trying to fit this thing. I literally didn't realize this, but where the return is and the fuel pressure regulator here, it is a little bit higher than this side and it's higher than the base of the flange. So the scoop needs a spacer to fit. And I literally just threw one of these spacers away like a week ago. I had one that came with my motor. I was like, I don't need this shit. I'm just doing a cow hood. Like, fuck that. Threw it out. Just dug to the bottom of this trash can because I thought it was in there, but it wasn't. I went to AutoZone. They have these spacer kits there. It's like $8. Comes with a couple different, like this, it's like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1 inch. And these all actually interlock to make up 2 inches if you needed that. I also went to Home Depot, got a nice wing nut and a stud, or all thread to make my stud. If you guys need studs for your car, just go to Home Depot or Lowe's. It's way cheaper than going to the parts store and buying a kit, and this also needed a bigger stud than the parts store sold. Alright, got the scoop all mounted up with the new stud. I do have a longer stud in case I have to change the spacer setup or anything like that, but that should work for a filter and everything. Now I have to do the harder part, which is cutting the hole in the hood. And the hardest part is, like, you have to cut a hole for something that goes underneath the hood, so you can't really lay it out too easily. You have to use all measurements. So I'm probably just going to set up a line here to measure off of, measure the scoop, and then put the hood on, measure the hood, and mark it all, and we'll see where it lines up. But here's a shot of it. Just, oh man, I can't get over how sick it looks. Absolutely amazing. So we're gonna get that hood in here and start working on that right now. Alright, so I just cut the massive hole in my hood, and I realized if you look here, my fuel injection sits slightly to the left. I knew this. I'm so stupid for not realizing this, but the fuel injection, or the top of the motor, is slightly to the left, or to the, well, technically to the passenger side of the car. And I knew this, and it's also slightly twisted, which is offsetting my scoop so it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna have to do is cut this hole over, probably about 1 inch, and then run that line back down, and it's just gonna be a little bit wider on one side. The only way to really adjust that is to get, like, twist the motor back, but the headers, unfortunately I messed up this a while ago when I welded the headers, which are a very, very tight fit. They actually touch the frame rail and the cross brace. They were welded in with the motor slightly twisted, which means that the motor will not return to its normal spot. It's not a big deal, it's just mostly aesthetic at this point. I'm not really worried about it performance-wise, it's fine, but this is causing an issue because the line of the carburetor is about 1 inch to the left, so I have to move the whole hole over a good bit. and kind of pissed, but I'm gonna cut it now and get it back to you guys when it all fits. Alright, so I managed to save it, and the hole is no longer that much off, so you got about 3/4 inch over here, a little bit more over here, maybe like an 1/8 inch more over there. It's not bad. Like I said, I cut it basically a whole inch to the right too far, and then I moved it 1 inch to the left. There's not too much I can do about it at that point, unfortunately. When I use right now, the way that mounts is, it kind of makes it be centered. But once I switch over the air filter, I'll be able to push that a little bit to the right because of the play in the spacer and the top of the fuel injection unit. But the hood does indeed open. I was worried about how big I'd have to cut the hole for this to work, but it turns out it didn't have to be too much more. That's it. And the hood, literally, you can see how much clearance I have. Boom. So the other option The other option was taking the hood off every time I wanted to, or taking the scoop off every time I wanted to open the hood, which isn't really practical. You'd have fingerprints all up in here, which would piss me off, because this is like, I want it to be clean and pretty all the time, but that'd be a pain in the ass to do, especially when like you're trying to like bust your ass to get back on grid or something. You know, you don't want to waste time in events. So this makes it a lot easier, makes repairs easier. God forbid something there's like on fire, you have to get to it, makes it easier. And I use the bigger spacer. You can kind of see the 350SX a little bit better. I also fixed the fact that the scoop would have been tilted with the motor. I took the spacer and I actually just cut it at an angle. I used the bench grinder actually and shaped it so the one side is like about an 1/8 quarter inch lower than the other one. So it actually tilts the scoop straight. And you can see that here. It's pretty square to the hood now. I mean, that's it for the scoop stuff. I'm gonna prime this hood and get it all sanded and cleaned up underneath and on top. Prime the thing and actually it's gonna be primed for when I paint it at that point. So that's one less pin I have to do. So I'm gonna do that tonight. And then I'm probably gonna bust up some odds and ends like the motor mounts and stuff like that. So that's it, guys. Alright guys, I got my hood all primered up. Should be all good. I'm gonna let it dry because I had to repaint this middle section because I ran out of paint. But it should be all good. Just dry up and throw it on. I have to get to priming the rest of the body panels. Everything was primed black. I decided to switch it to gray primer because the paint is like a pinkish purple. I want to bring the pink out a little bit more. So I'm going to use a lighter primer to hopefully achieve that. I got everything off my list today. I made this the other day. I got all this is done. The e-brakes on, the console's in, vacuumed the car. Didn't make a dust shield, couldn't do it, so crossed it off, not doing it for now. Made a little bit of clearance on the cross member for the pan and braced the wing. This no longer has side-to-side plane like it used to. Redid the mount for my fire extinguisher. The inside's all buttoned up. Put in my new harnesses. I switched to wraps. My old harness mounts were like this. And like, as you can see, my seats are so close, they pull weird. So I switched over to wraps. Brand new RJ's harness. Have to do it for that side. It's a 5-point cam lock. Pulled my headliner off as well. Decided I didn't want it anymore because it was starting to sag. So have to paint that soon. The console's all together. Just have to make up a little mount for the Fiatech unit in there. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna go take it out for a test drive. Alright, so I'm going to cut in the footage from the GoPro. I took it out for a drive. It's always the simplest things. I ran out of gas. I let off and it just wouldn't return to idle. It just died. I'm like, shit. So I tried to jump it. My battery's so dead it has no amperage to turn this thing over. Because that starter pulls a good bit of juice. So we couldn't even jump it with a truck or 2 packs on it. So we towed it, bump started it. Still not enough gas. So when I got back, I had a little more. It seems to be a little more stable now. I took it a couple rips down the road. It's not registered, but just figured I'd try and get it to tune itself. Seems like running out of gas really messed the tune up. Like it like kind of tuned for that, like running really, really lean. But it fixed itself and seems to be doing better. So that's it for this time, guys. Until next time.